welcome to my channel. My name is Jason Boyle and I'm an architect in the UK. I've got 20 years experience as a chartered architect. I'm a fellow of the Royal Institute of British Architects, the RIBA, and I'm also a fellow of the Royal Society of Arts in the UK as well. So firstly, can I just ask you to please subscribe? Could you feel free to comment and please feel free to share, but also can you just turn on that, I would really appreciate if you can turn on that notification button that will alert you when there's new videos posted by myself. So thank you. So why am I here? Why have I suddenly started this YouTube channel? Well, I've been mentoring for 3 years now, and I've also been carrying out a lot of work on LinkedIn and engaging with architects and people in the construction industry. And the people I'm mentoring, it's a one-to-one relationship, which is great, but I think there's a lot of issues that we all experience in architecture and in construction. So this channel is a kind of a way of me putting my own personal views and sharing my personal views with everyone to a much bigger audience. So kind of that's the idea. I'll be covering technology, I'll be covering mentoring, I'll be covering mindset, and also we'll be interviewing really great people in the industry, successful people. So I do have a big network of connections, and with the 20 years experience I've got, I'm hoping that I'm going to give you some great value. So the title of my first ever YouTube video is How to Study Architecture and Succeed. I think we all know the cost of studying architecture, and it is a 7-year process. And so anything I can kind of share with you and help you, these are just my personal tips, but these are the things I believe which will help you succeed when you're studying architecture. Okay. Number 1, time management. For me, the people I've seen succeed and do well at university are the people who treat studying just like a job. So it's about planning your time. Waking up like you're going to work is one of the best ways to actually work things out. So again, it's planning things in your calendar. Sort of understanding you've only got a limited time in the day. You might also have a part-time job as well, which is even more, it's even more important to have that time management side of things ready. And I've seen so many people, whether people actually in work, don't plan their time properly. So number 1, the main rule is get time management, practice it. Number 2, prepare for criticism. Now, at university, we present our work in front of our peers, in front of the tutors, and it's quite a daunting thing to do for those of you who've done it or maybe are concerned about doing it in the future. So what I always say, it's always best to be prepared. And what I've noticed with a lot of students of architecture is they'll do these great designs, they'll spend hours and hours and hours getting their presentation together, but they won't actually practice pitching or, as I say, communicating the design. You might only get 2 to 3 minutes to present your work. And this goes into in real life with a client. You'll only get a certain period of time. And if you can't effectively communicate your design to the client, no matter how great it is, you've kind of, you've really done yourself a disservice. So what I always say is take about 30% of the time that you've been designing to prepare for the pitch. And, that is really important. Film yourself. See if there's things you can improve. And the great people who can really pitch are the ones who can do well at the crit. And it will help you with the criticism, because most of the criticism quite often is you've run out of time and we don't understand your design. So number 3, it's related to number 2, but it's about clarifying. So what I mean by this is when you're presenting your crit, you will get feedback. You'll get feedback from your tutors. You might even get feedback from your peers in the room. And what I say is try and get someone to record it, so you can, because you'll be in that mindset of kind of presenting and you won't fully listen. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of people I've noticed misinterpret that feedback. They don't fully understand at the time what the tutor or what your peers mean. So if you can record it, then you can write it up and then you can communicate it back to the tutor. Did you mean this? Can I clarify this with you? And what that says to the tutor is you're serious, you're holding them to account just as much as they're holding you to account for your design. And it'll lead to much more clarity, which is what you need. And I would say this is true with clients in the real world, clarify exactly what they mean, because we all listen and hear different things. So number three, clarify. Okay, number 4, again, this is very important, rest. You must rest. If you've read my articles, The Broke Architect, which is this part 1 and this part 2, I talk about this culture of overworking, this stress and the mental health side of architecture. It's very real. There's a lot of research out there which tells you should take regular breaks. So what I'm saying here is, yes, architecture it's a tough thing to study, as like many other degrees are. I'm not discounting them, but rest, take that time out. And what I'm saying to you, if you go back to point number 1 with that time management, and maybe treat your working life from, say, Monday to Friday, you can take the weekend to really rest and do other things, such as exercise. I think exercise is one key one. So I'm just reminding you here to rest and take time out. 5, be social. Okay, I can't stress the importance of this. So you've got 7 years ahead of you. You've got your 3-year degree. You've got your 1 year out, where you hopefully will be working. Then you've got a 2-year master's postgrad degree, and then another year out before you can finally qualify. You've got this 7-year period minimum to build relationships, adding people on LinkedIn, finding people who you really would love to work with when you are studying or qualifying, and nurture them relationships and find out people who you really feel like you could connect with. And that will help you when you actually are looking for work, because people know who you are. And I've seen it quite successfully with a number of students who are very, very social. Sending out a cold CV to a practice, I don't think is the best way necessarily. I think you can do a lot more work over them 7 years to put you in a really good position. So number 6, challenge yourself. And what I mean by this is, with your design, you might be working away in isolation at present. It's important to get your colleagues' views on your design. So what I'm saying to you is you can present your design to a number of people at an early stage and a midpoint, before actually you see your tutor. That's going to be great feedback. So it's important. You can be so intense and looking at your design. I think it's great to hear other people's opinions and try and explain to them what the purpose of your design is. And if they don't get it, then you can sort of reflect on that and kind of improve. So it's about challenging yourself by bringing other people into your design. And I think that's quite a critical thing, that many people, they make that mistake. They pitch at the crit and then they realize, it's not as great as I thought it was. So it's just that little fine tuning of really doing this that works. Okay, number 7. This is problem solving. This is who, why, what, where, and when. So your design should be solving someone else's problem. There's a problem, there's a brief, and you've just got to remember them things, them simple basic questions before you do your pitch. It should answer all of these simple questions, and if you're not hitting each one of them, you're going to have a slight problem when you're pitching and communicating your design. And so it's kind of that problem solving aspect to your design, the basic questions: who, why, where, what, and when. Just think about them aspects. Number 8, do a side hustle. So what I mean by that is we're living in an age now where e-commerce is, it's probably the biggest thing that's hit us and hit architecture. We're living in a digital world, and you've got these 7 years where you're studying, you're working hopefully as well to gain that experience, but do something on the side as well. And there's a lot of things you can do. You can engage obviously on LinkedIn, but you can also create original content, because architects and architectural students and people in construction are very creative people. So you could do TikTok videos about architecture and build up a social network following, which in the future will pay off. You've got 7 years to build something, and you can build this side hustle. There's many different ways of doing it, but I would say it should be something that's related to who you are as a person. And you never know, at the end of them 7 years when you qualify, you may be earning more money than you would as qualified as a young architect. So number 8, side hustle. Number 9, forget about perfection. Okay, what I'm saying here, it's yes, you want to do a great design. We all want to do our best, but just remember the fundamentals. You've got to cover all the aspects of the brief, all the aspects of what the tutors are asking you to do. Now just remember as well, the tutors have got to mark in a structured way. They're validated by an external body, RIBA, so you're going to have external examiners coming in. Now what I'm saying here is, it's okay to do a great design, but you're missing elements of what the brief is saying, what it's asking for, then construction details, structural information that you might have to, the reports. If you don't get everything in line, you're opening yourself up to being marked down. Now I had a situation where I did not get on with my tutor in my final year. Very stressful situation. I kept presenting to him, wasn't happy at all with the design. I knew and I believed in myself, luckily. So I used other tutors and external people who come in from practice to kind of work through my design. And it's that critical thing of really getting other people's opinion. Perfection is not going to get you through passing a course. It just really isn't. You just got to set yourself up and get them basics covered. And I think it's a great thing that external examiners come in and just have that secondary look and checks and balances for university students. I think it's pretty key, and it's saved my life, I can tell you that, because I covered all bases, and my design wasn't the best design, but they just could not fail me because I'd covered everything that was asked of me. And finally, number 10, have fun. Wow, this is the time in your life when you're studying at university where you can explore ideas, you can explore concepts. Your work is not actually going to be built, so it's you can have freedom, and I think that's a big part of what studying architecture is all about. It's experimenting. It's not to say you can't experiment when you're in practice, but you have much more freedom at university. So have fun. Look at all the other tips I've been talking about, taking regular breaks, treating your working day from like a 9 till 5 if you possibly can, but have fun, because university is a challenge. But I firmly believe if you're not having fun, it might be the wrong thing for you. So just remember that, have fun. And finally, I just wanted to end on this note. It's really important to, obviously, architecture it's a marathon, it's not a sprint, and you've got to remember that. It does take a long time. Many students of architecture start, it could be 300 on a year, and you might actually get right down to 50 people at the end, or even less. So you've just got to be prepared for this. Really is a marathon. It is not a sprint. And if you do think like that, you've got a better chance of actually succeeding and passing the architecture course. So thank you. I will be posting regular videos weekly, and so I hope you subscribe. Very important. Turn that notification bell on, and please let me know. Give me some feedback and comments. It's always appreciated. And thank you so much for watching.